हेलो एवरीवन, गुड आफ्टरनून, गुड इवनिंग ऑल। कैसे हैं सब लोग? मेरा नाम है अरविंद।
Good morning, good evening. Can I say good night? Depending upon where the viewers are, but yeah. My name is Saurav.
और हम हैं हैदराबाद बॉयज, वेयर वी टॉक ऑल थिंग्स क्रिकेट। लेकर आए हैं एक और वीडियो। बैस बॉल आ चुका था इंडिया में एंड फर्स्ट टेस्ट इन हैदराबाद वाज अमेजिंग। आई मीन फ्रॉम अ क्रिकेटिंग स्टैंड पॉइंट, नॉट सो मच फ्रॉम एन इंडियन स्टैंड पॉइंट। तो आई थॉट वी टॉक अबाउट a little bit about first test, what happened in Hyderabad, एंड देन हम बात करते हैं सेकंड टेस्ट में कि क्या करना चाहिए इंडिया को या क्या करना चाहिए इंग्लैंड को। एंड विल wrap up with our predictions would be for second test at Vizag, which is gonna happen in 3 days from now. तो सौरभ, शुरू करें वीडियो।
Sure, sure. Let's get started.
सो बैस बॉल इन हैदराबाद, पहली बार इंडिया में बैस बॉल हुआ है। लोग मतलब हम लोगों ने प्रीव्यू में बात ही करे थे कि एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट सीरीज है एंड वी वर वेटिंग फॉर इट। And it did not disappoint. I think it was an amazing series का test match start. इंग्लैंड वन द गेम, इंग्लैंड ने जीता है अनएक्सपेक्टेडली बोल सकते हैं, या वो क्या बोल सकते हैं। then we'll just do a quick review about that, but uh, yeah, I mean England won by 28 runs, 246 उन्होंने मारा था फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में। इंडिया ने एक्चुअली 436 मारा है 190 का लीड लेके। आई थिंक, आई डोंट नो इफ इंडिया हैज एवर हैड दिस हैपन कि 190 लीड लेके हारना इज इम्प्रॉबेबल। बट इंग्लैंड ने 420 मारा सेकंड इनिंग्स में एंड इंडिया को टारगेट दिया था 231 का, एंड इंडिया गॉट आउट इन 202। स्टार रहे ओली पोप, जिन्होंने 196 मारा है, विच इज अमेजिंग
Sure.
अचीवमेंट हियर। तो सौरभ, बात करते हैं थोड़ा क्विक रिव्यू ऑफ व्हाट यू फेल्ट। तो पहला एक ही क्वेश्चन, कैसा लगा हैदराबाद का गेम और व्हाट वाज योर रिएक्शन?
Yeah, मतलब जिस दिन रिजल्ट आया अरविंद, I mean, although I know we are just talking about India-Australia game, I mean, that
इंडिया
day
इंग्लैंड,
possibly,
इंडिया
yeah,
इंग्लैंड
yes,
इवन।
England and India game, sorry. I think that day probably, I mean, it just could be the recency bias as well, was possibly one of the greatest days of Test cricket. Test cricket matches that I basically watched. You had the West Indies Australia game,
करेक्ट।
which was amazing, and then the second one, I mean the India England one, which actually just went yeah, little unscripted. I think एक स्क्रिप्ट के हिसाब से जा रहा था। डे 2 डे 3 जब एंटर हुए, आई थिंक इंग्लैंड वाज 163 फॉर 5। आई थिंक इंग्लैंड ने भी रियलाइज नहीं किया होगा कि इंग्लैंड ने भी रियलाइज नहीं किया होगा कि दिस इज समथिंग व्हिच इज गोना हैपन, कि दे आर गोना स्कोर 400 190 रन की लीड। दिस वाज समथिंग which I don't think so Indian cricket fan or England cricket fans would have accepted. कि ये इतना इतना ज्यादा टर्न अराउंड होगा। लेकिन आई थिंक दिस वाज द वीवीएस राहुल द्रविड़, मुझे एक हुआ था। आई नो
2001 कोलकाता टेस्ट इन रिवर्स एक्चुअली, because India,
रिवर्स, या तो
Australia was the favorites and India were the underdogs, and India did the impossible.
ट्रू ट्रू ट्रू। और बस यहाँ पे एक है कि वहां पे यू हैड द्रविड़ एंड लक्ष्मण बोथ स्कोरिंग। यहाँ पे शायद मोस्ट पॉसिबली इट वाज ओनली जस्ट वन, व्हिच इज ओली पोप, एंड देन यू हैड सपोर्ट फ्रॉम रेहान अहमद एंड
Middle
हार्टली।
order.
But one of the greatest innings that I can recollect, a visiting team player actually scoring in India. And then, again, in the recent time, I've seen certain innings from Damian Martin. I could recollect from Kamran
Yeah.
Akmal, Abdul Razak. But it's not, मेरे मेमोरी में नहीं आ रहा है कि
नहीं
इतनी
आता।
अच्छी लास्ट 10 to 12 years of visiting batsmen. I know Steve Smith ने भी अच्छी इनिंग्स खेली हैं, लेकिन
राइट। स्टीव स्मिथ,
इनिंग्स में
जो रूट का
100।
एक इनिंग्स आता है जो चेन्नई में उन्होंने खेला था, डबल सेंचुरी, बट
But given the
यस।
circumstances, you were way behind, 163 for 5. This possibly has to be one of the best innings that I have ever seen in the Indian soil by a visiting batsman.
वेरी ट्रू, वेरी
So,
ट्रू। नहीं, आई थिंक यू आर राइट। आई मीन, आई थिंक, आई डोंट नो इंडियन मीडिया में कैसा रहा है कि डिड दे बैश इंडियन प्लेयर्स। मुझे लगता नहीं है कि इंडिया डिड नथिंग टू बैड। आई मीन, आई थिंक जस्ट दे वर अनएक्सपेक्टेड। थोड़ा शायद एक सेशन थोड़ा वो फ्लैट हो गए थे जिस टाइम पे दे कुड हैव प्रोबेबली gotten lower order out after Rahman Ahmed, but I think they didn't expect Tom Hartley to survive for that long in that session on the fourth day. um I don't think India did too bad. I just think England did England did an amazing turnaround, which is unexpected. And I think यही एक खूबी थी बैसबॉल की. बैसबॉल इज नॉट अबाउट स्कोरिंग रन्स क्विक. आई थिंक पीपल भूल जाते हैं कि बैसबॉल इज रन रेट एट 600 है. इट्स अ माइंडसेट गेम. you do unthinkable things. आई थिंक टॉम हार्टली को नो उनको जो यशस्वी जायसवाल ने धुलाई करी थी फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में, giving him that opportunity to try and come back again in the second innings and then persist with him when थोड़ा इंडिया अच्छा शुरू कर रहा था. रोहित शर्मा was a little bit in the form there in the second innings. तो मुझे लगा कि you rightly said it. It's a win for a test match, even though India lost. I think it really augurs well for our series. कि एक competitive series होने वाला है. It can't be a walkover. I think पहली बार ऐसा हुआ है कि I think इंडिया को क्वेश्चंस करे थे when you have Jadeja and Ashwin, who are India's spin duo. I think पहली बार उनको 100 रन ऐसे मारना, I think they were a little bit shocked. I
True,
felt it. Um,
true.
but I can't blame India too much here. I think they did what they could. ठीक है, you can fault and nitpick कर सकते हैं कि Shreyas Iyer could have done better, Shubman Gill could have done better, but these are nitpicking here. अगर अगर ओली पॉप ने अगर वो इनिंग्स नहीं खेली होती, ये गेम अगर हम लोग लग ही रहा था फोर्थ सेशन में, फर्स्ट सेशन में हो जाता, इंग्लैंड वुड हैव कोलैप्स्ड. इट वाज वन ओली पॉप्स ग्रेट इनिंग्स व्हिच टर्न्ड द गेम अराउंड. सो let's not get too carried away that India did too bad. मैं यही कहना चाहता हूँ कि इंग्लैंड जब 2021 में इंडिया आए थे, they played the first game at Chennai.
And they
They
won it.
won the game by 227 runs. And Joe Root scored double century and they scored 500 runs. And effectively, India won the next 4 games. So it is not saying England has fully arrived, but it is also not saying कि India has done too bad. I think it just sets up very well the next 4
True,
series.
true, true.
Let's talk now. See next अब जो होने वाला है, which is 2 दिन में 3 दिन में. I mean I'm still on Tuesday here in this part of the world. Second test हो रहा है Vizag में. I actually loved Hyderabad pitch. I think this is the kind of pitches India should be making. Entertaining, exciting, both for bowlers. Ball was getting carried. क्या लगता है? Let's talk about first venue, Vizag, and then let's just talk about the teams. Do you think India will change the pitch now that they lost? Could it be more
India hasn't
spin
played,
turning?
yeah, India hasn't played a lot of test matches in Vizag. I think it's only two that they
Mm-hmm.
have played. They have won both of them. I think it's going to be very interesting कि pitch क्या रखेंगे. I don't think so. It was a very bad pitch in
I think it
Hyderabad.
was a great pitch.
It was a great pitch. It still favored India.
It's still,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, somehow just India lost it, and we kind of discussed, few reasons. I'm pretty sure Rahul Dravid right now is in Vizag, even though the team may not be practicing and they might be, at their respective respective places. This is going to be a tricky decision for India. Now, one thing which has been, post the first test match is Ravindra Jadeja is not playing.
Yes.
KL Rahul is not playing.
Wow.
Okay, now, and this is a very telling stat, Arvind. I think this possibly is the first time, and both the fronts. One is statistically, this possibly is the very first time when the number of runs, which let's have a equation, Ratan, these are very terrible sort of statistics, that Twitter sometimes comes out or certain media comes out, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Kohli plus Rohit Sharma is equal to the number of runs, total number of runs
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
opposition.
I saw this. You're saying the entire
Yeah,
runs
yeah,
is less
yeah, yeah.
than Joe Root score of test.
Joe Roots, yeah, yeah. And I think it's also in the number of test matches as well. Now, majority of the players that we have in India right now, they are very, very, they don't have much experience, barring
Yeah,
Rohit Sharma, who might have played 50 odd test matches.
true.
वहां पे you have Stokes, Bairstow, Joe Root, all playing more than 80 matches. Joe Root has played almost 135 matches. So एक तो ये है statistically, and even if you just go by the reputation as well now, inexperienced. Plus, it looks England has a much stronger batting lineup, much stronger
Mm-hmm.
bat. Not only by the statistics, by the way the England team is playing, you possibly want to have Rajat Patidar and Sarfaraz Khan coming in, with no experience at all. So ये बहुत सालों के बाद मेरे को दिमाग में नहीं आ रहा है. I've seen this possible scenarios and these sort of scenarios, and when India has stood, outside maybe 96,
The
97, विक्रम राठौड़ वगैरह जब खेले थे.
mm-hmm.
But India मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है. So this is going to be a very tricky sort of a decision considering how inexperienced the squad is with no Ravinder Jadeja, which basically is an exclusion of two players because he basically gave you
Yeah.
that comfy with the bat and the ball. हालांकि वो शायद लाइक फॉर लाइक रिप्लेसमेंट कर ले वॉशिंगटन सुंदर के साथ, which may not be a bad decision. लेकिन बैटिंग क्वाइट वीक लग रही है. सो आई रियली डू नॉट नो कि Rahul Dravid is going to have guns out of his pocket and ask the curator to prepare a turning track which is going to turn from session number one. So that's going
I
to be a very
think, yeah, my gut still says, and we'll get to the individual teams immediately in a minute कि इंडिया के बारे में बात करते हैं. My gut says they'll make it a spinning track, but I have a feeling. I think this is why I'm liking this series a lot. I think basketball में से कि हम भी अपने spinner लाते हैं, and they got that guy Bashir now in. Um, visa का nonsense हुआ था, which frankly is BS. I mean, I know India के ऊपर उछाले गए थे all the nonsensical allegation कि ये हुआ था, but visa takes process and there's a process. So he being having a heritage of a certain nationality does mean that there is additional check. So anyway, he is finally now in India. So there could be a scenario that if they do a spinning track, I can do an all spin attack because only Mark Wood ne khela tha, and he wasn't effective. He was okay, he was fast, but he wasn't that effective for the pitch. अगर उनको लगेगा कि pitch turning हो रही है, I can do a Bashir Hartley who's now filled with confidence, Joe Root who's bowling well, very well,
yeah.
and Rehan Ahmed, and I don't know if Leach is still around. I mean, he's still around. He could stay. I have they have options to counter, and I think that's a very interesting scenario. And you rightly said, tricky है थोड़ा. पहले टूर्स में क्या होता था कि India would have taken the whole tour turning track from session one, let Kuldeep, Akshar, Rahul, Jadeja and Ashwin do the job and effectively do everything. I think basketball ने वो reverse sweep उन्होंने जब शुरू किया है, I think they are able to now figure out कि I can do a counter. So it's not an easy decision for a curator. So I think that'll be an interesting thing to scenario to see about. So let's talk the teams. तो पहले इंडिया की बात करते हैं. तो आपने already big news and team news के बारे में बता दिया. There's no Jadeja, who I believe is injured, and I think वो serious injury लग रही है. If I remember right, it's
Yeah, and most likely he's going to be out for the series. Most likely.
most likely, yeah. And I think KL Rahul is also injured.
KL Rahul,
Uh,
yeah, KL Rahul may not just may not play the
and
second.
Virat Kohli is not back yet. And I think Virat Kohli's loss has been felt in the first test, but I think his loss will be felt even more now because he gives that stability in that middle order. Now there is none.
Yeah, I think एक और चीज है विराट कोहली लाते हैं Arvind, and you can just continue from there. You said the moment you talked about India looked flat, right? After
Correct.
160 for 5. I think Virat Kohli brings that energy which is kind of required. There have been
Correct.
multiple times in the past when Virat Kohli hasn't played test matches, barring the the victories that India basically got in Australia. There have been multiple times
Yeah.
that India looks flat,
Yeah.
very flat. And that's where, apart from his batting,
No,
that's
you're
where
right. I mean, with the attitude, with that, not even attitude नहीं बोल सकते. With that, वो जो खेलने का वो जज्बा होता है ना, I think that energy, even if a few sessions or few overs का वो energy जो आता है, that changes the game. Your confidence to
yeah.
bowler, spinner, wicket keeper being at that slip cordon. So you're absolutely right there, and I think Virat Kohli का presence is going to be felt bad, especially after ये injury होने के बाद.
True.
So क्या लगता है इंडिया? Let's start with India as a batting and then bowling, and then we'll go to the England. So KL is out, so we now pretty much think Shreyas Iyer will be now locked in for 4. because it would be Rohit, Jaiswal, Gill, and then Iyer would be at 4.
True.
Now, do you think
Uh,
with KL out and Jadeja out, who gets to get that slot of 4, 5, and 6? Now, do you think Sarfaraz Khan finally India gives him a chance to do a debut, or do you think Rajat Patidar or who else was the other person they had brought in? I think those are the two I'm thinking from a batter point of view. Do you think both of them gets into the chance here because Jadeja bhi out नहीं है in terms of batting depth? क्या लगता है आपको?
So I mean, even though we want to talk, we want to talk about the from the top order. Let's consider Washington Sundar. Sundar is going to be the like for like replacement for Jadeja. I think that's done.
Fair enough.
I think.
Sundar being.
या फिर you can also get surprised कि Kuldeep Yadav may come in, and I think he's
Kuldeep
not a
Yadav
bad.
will come in and then they'll bring a batter here so that to shore up the batting. And so Kuldeep, Akshar,
True.
Ashwin could be the spin trio and
Yeah.
have a batter to support after Iyer. So instead, maybe both Sarfaraz and Patidar could get an
Patidar
opportunity.
True.
This thing. I actually think both should be given a chance. Sarfaraz should be given a chance, and Patidar has been around. I mean, he was a replacement for Kohli anyway. So for the first 2 test matches. So मुझे लगता है कि they could go with both and may then give an opportunity to Kuldeep. Maybe then Washington Sundar misses out. I don't know. I mean, that could be just a speculation there. I am thinking out loud. But क्या लगता है that setup where these guys get a chance over Washington Sundar?
Yeah, I think सरफराज खान तो 100% मुझे लग रहा है कि खेलेंगे. लेकिन Arvind, not surprised, लेकिन there are news floating around that considering, I don't know if you've seen Shubman Gill's and Shreyas Iyer performance in the last, let's say, 10 to 15 innings. It has been very, very, average भी नहीं बोलूंगा, it's been below average. Lot of scores below 20. So there is little pressure to either exclude both of them or at least exclude one of them. Like I don't
but
think.
आप किसको replace करोगे? There's no Kohli, there's no Rahul
you
to
don't.
do those
You
things.
don't.
So
You
I
don't.
understand the sentiment, but मुझे लगता नहीं है कि वो second test में करेंगे. I think once Kohli comes back, they're going to look
That's
at the
fair.
see if one of the two fails again, then they are in the pressure to actually say, you may sit out. Sundar should get a chance because Sundar bats well. So Sundar is basically like to like replacement there. So I know what you're saying, but मुझे लगता नहीं है कि वो second test में करेंगे because we really don't have experience after Shreyas Iyer in terms of batting there.
That is also true. And how about this thought? And this is also, kind of getting circulated a lot. What if Shubman Gill and Jaiswal open the innings and Rohit Sharma comes down because he plays spin relatively well. हालांकि it doesn't really matter क्योंकि आपकी spinning track है. And England is already, playing mind games. Brendan McCullum is saying he might go with 4 spinners.
I
in the
heard
next
that.
Right. So it may not really
नहीं, मुझे
matter.
लगता है कि वो थोड़ा outlandish होगा because I don't think Rohit has ever played maybe batting earlier in the game.
From a long time he's been opening.
वो
I
हाँ,
think
he's been an opener for India. लगता है मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा वो far fetched idea लग रहा है. ऐसा नहीं कर नहीं सकते, but मुझे लगता है नहीं है कि वो करेंगे. I think they'll stick की यही combination. But मुझे लग रहा है कि दोनों रजत and सरफराज may given a chance, and that would mean Kuldeep may get a nod over Washington Sundar, and the other person जिनको लाए थे Saurabh Kumar, if I remember right.
yeah.
Who's brought into the squad. लगता है कि Kuldeep may bring that X factor. He is a proven player. I mean, Kuldeep with Ashwin and Akshar, deadly combination. I mean, वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, India का spin they'll miss more of Jadeja's batting than bowling because they have a good replacement for bowling.
So I think this is how it's going to look like. I mean, let's freeze down. Rohit Sharma 1, Jaiswal 2, Shubman Gill 3, Iyer 4.
Iyer
So
4.
this is all sealed. Then you have 5, which is Sarfaraz Khan or Patidar. This is 5. 6 might be KS Bharat, which I think he's going to play. I did relatively okay.
Yeah.
So 7 आपके अक्षर पटेल हो गए, 8 आपके अश्विन हो गए, 9 आपके
9
सिराज.
Kuldeep. I want to talk Siraj. This is what I'm talking.
Siraj Bumrah depending again. I don't know कि India.
And this is where that's why I was talking about the batting. मुझे लगता है because of Jadeja's miss. So Jadeja is a bigger miss for me than KL Rahul because of Jadeja's, the dual thing.
Yeah, yeah,
मेरे को
yeah.
लगता है कि ये रजत को और सरफराज को दोनों खेलेंगे at 5 and 6. Bharat comes at 7, so they're shoring up the batting, and then 8, 9, 10, 11 they'll go with Kuldeep, Akshar, and Ashwin, and they'll just go
Ashwin.
with one fast bowler, which is Bumrah.
Could be.
Because सिराज ने एक्चुअली सेकंड इनिंग्स में इतनी बॉलिंग भी नहीं करी है, एंड
Yeah,
अब उनको बैटिंग की और बहुत जरूरत है. जो आपने पहले ही कहा है कि बैटिंग इज वेरी इनएक्सपीरियंस, बॉलिंग इज नॉट.
not.
बॉलिंग इज स्टिल एक्सपीरियंस, क्योंकि अश्विन, बुमराह, अक्षर, कुलदीप
Could
आर स्टिल अ वेरी गुड बॉलिंग अटैक इन इंडियन कंडीशंस.
be.
दे हैव द एक्सपीरियंस टू मैच इट. अब बैटिंग में दे डोंट हैव कोहली नहीं है, केएल नहीं है, और अब जडेजा नहीं है, who brings that lower order stability. So it puts even more
Makes
pressure on
sense.
Akshar and Ashwin to bat more.
It actually makes sense. It actually
Already
makes sense.
makes them pressure on
Yeah,
bowling
yeah.
because
It
Jadeja
actually
नहीं
makes
है.
sense. It actually
तो
makes
मुझे
sense. Yeah,
लग
yeah.
रहा है कि my take is they may actually rest Siraj and give both Rajat and Rajat and Sarfaraz a chance, and then assess
Chance.
on third test कि अगर कोहली आ जाते हैं, if Gill and Iyer do not do well, maybe then one of them sticks around if they do very well.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's where my take is on this one. So I think bowling, I think is looking sorted. मुझे लगता है कि they will. I think Kuldeep is probably the guy, as opposed to Washington Sundar.
I think so. क्योंकि एक रीजन मुझे लगता है क्योंकि एक वन डायमेंशनल सॉर्ट ऑफ एक अटैक हो जाता है आपका. एवरीवन इज बॉलिंग ऑफ
It's a
स्पिन
wrist spinner, that element
विद अ
comes in.
स्पिनर. तो आई थिंक दैट माइट बी अ गुड ऑप्शन. और कुलदीप यादव को बहुत लोग स्ट्रगल करते हैं रीड करने में. सो आई थिंक दैट माइट
There'll
जस्ट
be
बी.
a interesting factor. So it's a
या
very. I think bowling still is looking good. I know I agree with the inexperience of the batting, but बुरी नहीं है. I understand KL's miss is going to be huge along with Kohli. So pressure on Gill and Iyer to actually do very well this time.
ट्रू ट्रू ट्रू.
Let's talk England now. I think we spent good time on India. Let's talk England. I think England is going to come with very very good confidence. I think उनको लगा भी नहीं होगा कि हम लोग ने तो predict कर रहे थे कि 4-0 होगा या final होगा. They've already gone one up. BAZBALL has
Yeah,
done.
I mean, I think I think if we would have just done this preview of second test match, let's say, I mean, अगर India जीत जाती, I'm pretty sure we would have been talking much about the changes the England team is going to bring in.
I know, very true. सही में,
you
सही
know,
में.
I mean, I don't think so. England को ज्यादा सर दर्द करने की जरूरत है यहाँ पे. I think the only change, अगर Brendan McCullum is really really serious, I haven't seen this, but there'll be a very bold move. Mark
It's a
Wood की
very
जगह पे winner. That's
it's a
the
very
only thing.
BAZBALL move. अगर
That's
move
a
बोल
very
सकते
bad
हैं.
one.
It's a BAZBALL move. It's unexpected, bold, you know, untested, and it's just like let's go and do it. So
Yeah.
I think batting is sorted. I mean, Ollie Pop, मुझे लग नहीं रहा था कि Ollie Pop उतना खेल पाएंगे, and I think batting looks pretty set. Crawley, Duckett, Pope,
True.
Root, Bairstow, Stokes, I think was set, and Ben Foakes. तो यहाँ पे कुछ चेंजेस लग ही नहीं रहा, एंड आई थिंक रेहान अहमद एंड टॉम हार्टली हैव प्रूव्ड देमसेल्फ वेरी वेल. वो लोअर ऑर्डर जो होता है, एंड आई थिंक वही है. मार्क वुड, जैक लीच. इज जैक लीच इंजर्ड तो शायद फिर जैक लीच को रिप्लेस कर देंगे बशीर.
Bashir.
बट मार्क जैक लीच इज नॉट इंजर्ड, दे एंड इफ अगर पिच टर्निंग हुई, आई थिंक मुझे लगता नहीं है कि ब्रेंडन मैकलम जो कर रहे थे कर भी सकते हैं.
कर भी सकते. कर भी सकते.
It
कर भी
could be all
सकते.
spin attack, and that will, because I know Stokes bowling नहीं करेंगे, but if push comes to really shove कि करना पड़ गया, Stokes में ball over here and there.
Good.
अगर
Good.
चाहिए होगा तो भी. So man, I think England is. I didn't
And,
expect कि England would come very settled into
no,
test and.
and और आपने 4 स्पिनर बताई. Forgot about Joe Root. I mean, I know we spoke about him.
हाँ,
लेकिन
मतलब मैं जो रूट की बात,
Joe
हाँ
Root,
मतलब.
actually Joe Root in a turning track, he would be deadly because he
Would be
bowls
deadly.
straight.
Straight.
So I would be surprised. I think let's get warmed up to the idea that possibly is going to happen. So
हाँ, so it could be all spin attack. अगर
all
इन्होंने कर दिया, मार्कवुड को निकाल के बशीर को रख दिया, so it could be रूट, बशीर, हार्टली, लीच एंड अहमद. Oh my god.
yeah, And
It's unheard of. I mean that's just Brendan McCullum there. I don't see any changes coming from England. I think it's a pretty clear. Uh, I think they're going to be confident. मुझे लगता है कि they're going to come with more confidence. We may even see a very confident England trying to do it. शायद हारेंगे. मुझे लगता है कि India is going to do very well. I would hope that India is going to come back with a good answer in batting. But
true.
I actually think England is going to continue what they've been doing.
True.
Not just the series over the last year. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a short segment for England because I'm not predicting any surprises for them. So it probably is the same thing. Maybe Bashir comes in for Wood. मुझे लगता नहीं है कि जेम्स एंडरसन को मौका देंगे अभी. They may wait for one more test
Yeah.
and then let's see, if things up, maybe he gets a chance in Dharamshala or the other city which where they're playing in. Um, so predictions. What do you think? India, can they come back, make it 1-1, or are we going to see a shock 2-0, which has never happened in Indian history? I don't know, in 15 साल 10 साल. अब तो
Yeah,
याद नहीं.
I don't remember the last time when India basically lost the test match, lost the test series was way back in 2012, which was against England,
Yeah,
thanks to the effort of Cook, from Cook and Peterson. I think India is going to come back strong. I think they
yeah,
have that reputation where the first they do perform in the first test match,
yeah.
poorly, and they come back stronger. It has happened in India. It has happened outside as well. आपने recently एक South Africa की जो सीरीज जो गई थी, फर्स्ट टेस्ट मैच हारे, सेकंड टेस्ट मैच जीते. सो मुझे तो लगता है इंडिया इज गोना कम बैक स्ट्रांग. मुझे लगता है इंडिया is gonna, you know, possibly win the second test match. Like it's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be a very fun one. That's for sure.
And I think that is where I'm stuck here because अगर इंडिया पहला जीत जाता तो ये तो हो गया वाला हिसाब होता. अब थोड़ा मुझे 50-50 लग रहा है with the injuries which happened on the India side कि शायद गेम हो. I'm still putting India favorites to win this because of the bowling. अगर उन्होंने turning back रख दिया, I still think Akshar and Ashwin with Kuldeep could be a handful for that batting lineup on England. But it's going to be a little bit more interesting. ये cakewalk नहीं होगा. And I think BAZBALL ने ये दिखा दिया है to the other teams. This is how you counter India and India.
True,
And
true.
I think that would make this a very exciting test match. And I think I'll end it with this. आपने सही बोला. This is all a win for Test cricket. I mean, look at the crowds which came to Hyderabad Stadium, man. I mean, that was amazing.
I was very very happy to see that. I don't recollect, मतलब इंडिया में टेस्ट मैचेस होते हैं, लेकिन मुझे ऐसा याद नहीं है कि
और विराट कोहली
consistently
नहीं थे. विराट कोहली नहीं
विराट
थे.
कोहली नहीं थे.
This is the
विराट
thing.
कोहली
So,
नहीं. True, true,
um,
true, true.
man, Hyderabad needs more test matches. I don't know if they will listen, but Hyderabad really deserves more and more test matches. I'm
Yeah,
hoping Vizag crowd also will come in. Although I know
sure.
last time Republic Day tha and all that, so long weekend pad gaya hai, but I
Hmm.
still think wise because second is Friday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, first 3 days weekend hoga. And so I think there would be a crowd or agar knowing basketball, you're looking at game over by fourth day anyway. So
Yeah,
irrespective of who wins. So I think it's going to be a very interesting crowd as well. And I'm happy, you know, टेस्ट क्रिकेट को सिर्फ इंडिया बचा सकता है और कोई देश नहीं बचा सकता. So uh,
actually yes.
yeah, so although yeah, and I'll say this, मजा आ जाएगा अगर इंडिया does night test और लोग आएंगे because शाम को work is done, you want to go
शाम को,
and
या
check out a
या.
session, a post dinner session or a post snack session or whatever the night session. I just feel India gets to that whole orange pink ball जो भी बोलना है जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में अभी हुआ था. Shamar Joseph, what a story there.
Got a story there.
Um, but I think yeah, I'm happy to see India में टेस्ट मैचेस का जो इंटरेस्ट है वो अभी भी है. It's fun, man. I loved it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. So we can end this here. So I am actually still predicting India 1-1. BAZBALL may have won the first one, but I think 1-1. I think that's your prediction too.
BAZBALL is 2-0 against India.
Yeah, BAZBALL is
Last
2-0 against India. They won
against
against us. So this is
Yeah,
to back. India needs to come back and prove a point there. So let's see how it happens in Vizag there.
yeah.
But yeah, Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Please share with your friends and family. बात करेंगे is just a second review in our next video.
Yeah,
Till then, we'll talk later. Bye bye.
yeah. Bye bye.